Hello, everybody. Tadashar here. And I realized I never made a build video. I always explain my build at the end of my video, I think. But yeah, I've never just done that on its own. So here you go. This is for the Zeus Very Hard Gimme God of War New Game Plus speedrun that I do. Let's start off with the axe. I use the Versatile Warriors handle. 22 to every stat once it's fully upgraded. Absolutely great. You could also use the Forbidden Grip of Ages, which is just -2 on all of them and adds a little flourish at the end. It wouldn't make the slightest difference in my build. I almost never use that move, so I don't bother. For the blades, I use the Grips of the Valkyrie. A lot of other people use the Grip of the Forgotten Flame, which is also good, because it is a moderate perk chance on any successful hit to give you a bonus in health, and it gives you a little bit, or a bonus in strength and gives you a little bit of health back. I don't want to lose the cooldown and the runic I have on this, and a boost to my strength is absolutely meaningless to me. My strength is so high that anything added to it doesn't make any difference in damage anyway. So I just use this because I want the cooldown. Let's move on to armor. It's the Zeus set because it's a speed run. I also have one where I do a speed run without the Zeus set. I also have the world record in that one. Um, Everything exactly the same, I think. No, it's not. Some of my gems are different because I had to change some stuff out. Anyway, Zeus, chest, belt, and arms, obviously. And then Talisman of the Realms for my trinket talisman. Talisman of the Realms gives you a slowdown whenever you want it to. Mine has a cooldown of, I want to say 50 seconds or so. I can't remember. I timed it out a long time ago, but I just can't remember what it is. For the kid, he just gets the tunic of the champion. Let's talk runic attacks. For the axe, Hell's Touch stays there all the time. It's got a really quick cooldown. It is a 360-degree stun for everything. It does decent damage. But at a 16-second cooldown, I can almost spam it. It's great for setting up other things or just stunning everything in the area. It's great. Glaive Storm is my go-to heavy attack. It hits everything on the screen. I don't know what else to say about it. Takes a while to cool down at a minute, even with this much cooldown, but it is absolutely fantastic. You can pretty much wipe the entire screen with it, which is how I use it often. For the Blades of Chaos, I use Neiman Crush, which is just, it says a massive shockwave, but basically he takes the two blades, sticks them out, his arms out wide, and then smashes them together in front of him. Half a minute cooldown, pretty good. And then Hyperion Slam, also a half a minute. I like the fact that they have the same cooldown. This also has a great AoE effect after it's fully upgraded, which can pretty much delete a group of enemies if they're all nearby. It's also great on bosses. Got to worry about distance though, because you take a number of steps forward when you use the attack. For the kid, I use Murder of Crows. You can also use wolves. A lot of people do. I just like the crows. Always have. I don't know. I don't give a shit about the stun, which the wolves do. But yeah, I like the crows. So that's what I use. I don't use them too often either. Alright, let's go with sockets here. So, perfect mark of the traveler. I don't even remember what that stupid thing does. Barrier that gives you one hit so you don't get killed. Or just take damage. With the Zeus set, you can often just die. It has a cooldown of like 2 minutes, I think, before it recharges itself. It's fantastic. Perfect mark of protection greatly increases the window that you have to parry attacks, just making it very easy to parry things. I'd Wing of the Chosen. The extra speed and distance while dodging is nice. It does help actually with the speed run a little bit for the times I am dodging, um, but mostly it's there just for the cooldown. Leviathan's Eye for when I do use the axe throwing, it's good, and just extra strength. Heart of the Valkyrie, just there for the stats. The secondary stuff, protection of the Valkyrie, it doesn't really make much difference. It kicks on constantly, but it doesn't really help here. Boar's Frozen Shard is kind of necessary, so that's one of the reasons I use Hell's Touch, is because of this. This is one you create from the dwarves, and it gives you a random stat effect on it. I just made these until I got one that had 25 cooldown. That's what happened. I made a bunch, didn't get it, reloaded the save, made a bunch more until I got what I wanted. It is because when you use that, it gives you a Blessing of Runic. And even though my Runic is 336, it does even more damage after that goes off. Unlike any Blessing of Strength, that doesn't make any difference. Strength is hard capped. Runic is a soft cap, but it still can do more, which is why that exists. Because I'll pop that, and then I pop my other Runic attacks, which makes them absolutely melt everything. Moving on to the belt. Perfect Mark of the Ancients. This is one of the reasons that the protection of the Valkyrie doesn't mean much, because my elemental resistances are maxed out at 85% anyway because of this. And then stats. Some of these are there just because of stats, some are there because of the secondary effect. Like this secondary effect, super useful for not getting one-shotted by something. This is there because of stats, just some of everything. Perfect Mark of however in the world you say that. I don't know how to say that word. So this allows you to dodge at the last moment to get a realm shift. As it says there, that's the whole reason I have it. Which is super useful in a variety of situations, particularly a number of bosses. If I'm not speedrunning it, and then it's even more things. It's super useful on the Valkyries. It's great on the Dark Elf King. Great for Balder, actually, as well. Down here in the Talisman of the Realms, Perfect Marketeer. I have two of those. No, that was something else I was thinking of then. Okay. Heart of Anaheim. Same runic strength defense on any hit. It's just nice to get a little boost of runic. Strength doesn't matter. That has boosted up as it is. And then Navaldi's Corrupted Mind. The weaken thing for enemies takes a while before it actually procs on them, particularly on Gimme God of War mode. Still useful. And then stats. Speaking of stats, I can't highlight them. Never mind. I was going to do that. Just so you can see a little bit better. Strength is hard capped out. I just want it as high as it can go, and that's as high as it can go. Runic can go a little higher, as I mentioned. Defense is there to get a minimum of 300. That's the only stat that I need. I have a specific minimum I want, other than maybe strength. All of them I wish were at the hard cap, which you can do if you are really dedicated. But defense is the only one I want over 300. And we will get to why right now. So you see these skills, the ones that are kind of highlighted up and all lit up. In defense, for this in particular, block break. So normally all it does is if something has a shield or it's blocking, you can break its block and it stuns it for a moment. When you have 300 defense, it no longer just does that. It sends things flying backwards, which it doesn't show there. I'll get into some combat in just a second and show it off. The reason you want that, because of that massive knockback, it'll send them flying backwards. If there's a ledge, you just send them right off the ledge and they're dead. No muss, no fuss, done. It's absolutely great. That's the whole reason I have this at 300. Everything else is just a bonus. The fact that these are lit up. Most of them are because of utility and whatnot. Some are because of runic, and they just do some extra damage. It'll put like bombs at the end of a thing for the blades, stuff like that. It's bonuses, but the one in particular is block break with the extra knockback. That's it. That's the entire build. That's everything I do. Everything I have on here. Everything is cultivated to get stats as high as I can in specific spots. Also, something you have to realize that speedrunners do. I did up into a point, and it is these. Yggdrasil's do. You can start the game over in New Game Plus as many times as you want. It does not limit you. You can pick up all 12 of these things every single run. Every single one you pick up is 2 points to whatever stab it is. Most of the ones you get are for strength, and then it filters down. I have picked up, as you see, quite a few of these. Every single one of these is worth 2. So that's an extra 90 strength. It's an extra 30 runic, an extra nearly 60, 58 defense, an extra 58 vitality, an extra 66 of these, blah, 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 and, you know, same shit. So that's one of the reasons my stats are as high as they are. I have seen people who have even higher stats than I do, and all of these bars are maxed out. And they're probably hit the cap on at least a few of them. Luck is the hardest one to raise up because you only get one of those every single time. One do each time, so 2 points. So it'll take a long time to boost up. But people do that because it can make a difference, particularly on strength. My strength is hard capped out, and I just do ridiculous damage. But you have to be aware that people are going to do that. And it is to some extent worthwhile, particularly maxing out at least strength. I have you maxed out runic, but I don't think I really need it. The tiny bit of extra offense it would give at this point, particularly since I use the thing that boosts Hell's Touch, both the damage of Hell's Touch and then every other runic attack I can do after that. And you'll notice the absolute ridiculous number of XP and Hacksilver I have. It's nearly 1 billion XP, and it is 1.4 billion Hacksilver. And I have all the skills unlocked. I mean, you just do that after beating the game. Not that you have to, you just have enough XP to do so. But that's the build. I'm not in a spot in this particular playthrough to do any combat and anything that's makes any sense. So this stuff is level 7. But this is, as stated, it just deletes the screen. That was Glaive Storm. I completely missed. But yeah, everything dies pretty much instantly. This is level 7. It would get to level 9 if it leveled up long enough. I wish I had the stuff to just go to Muspelheim and show you there, but I don't. That's just because of where this playthrough was. But, yeah, nothing really stands a chance in any normal encounter. Because by the time you get to the next encounter, your cooldowns are pretty much up. In the speedrun, I have things planned out very specifically, timing-wise. Once again, alright, I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to get hit by that stupid thing blowing up. But they're dead. That's all it takes.
Just some stupid pots. And Draugr. No magical treasure, and no what's...
Keep your expectations low, boy, and you will never be disappointed.
So that's what usually happens. Oh, here's a perfect way to show this off. So this And its range. See how far away? Oh, now he's stunned, but it's a decent distance that this works at. And yeah, it's just a huge knockback. It's also a very quick way to get into the alternate moveset for the weapons. I think it is technically the fastest way to get into it, is do that and then wait a moment. Oh, I'll use the Talisman of the Realms here so you can see what that does. So Talisman of the Realms, just a slowdown. That's it. That's all it does. Lasts a decent amount of time.
There's nothing but poison in this one. And the stupid bird statue.
And useful resources. The main reason we are here, boy. However, many of these chests
But
have been
I
emptied.
love cooldown because I like runic attacks.
I hope they didn't take some of what's
And runic attacks, when you have a ton of runic, are super powerful. And so you get a lot of cooldown, you can just spam these things practically.
I have a good feeling about this. Maybe we'll even find the wet stuff.
Remember what I told you about expectations, boy.
Keep them low. I remember. Still, good feeling.
Oh, as I must bring up, I do change one thing whilst doing the speed run. For some of the bosses, I use Blessing of Frost. I will show you. So, like this, leaves a big fire thing. That's because of how much runic I have. Oops. This leaves these little bombs behind as a hazard. All sorts of different things do that. A bunch of the frost, the axe attacks do that, add extra frost. Like that causes extra frost. Or when you do that attack, it does extra frost damage. A bunch of shit like this. Just the axe slam itself does extra frost
I was
now.
ready for them this time.
All sorts of stuff like
I
that.
saw.
So I should keep my expectations low.
I don't build towards it, but it's there.
It is a delicate balance. Expect the worst. Assume nothing. And always anticipate an attack.
Sure is a lot to remember.
Alright, now for a quick change, just to show you the difference. This is the Valkyrie set. Stats, almost still crazy high. Strength isn't quite as high, runic is even higher, defense is off the fucking charts. Cooldown's 321. So Blessing of Frost is at 61 seconds. And Glaive Storm is 47 at this. It was like 58, I think, with the other armor. This just has tons and tons of cooldown. This is my favorite armor if I'm not using the Zeus, is the Valkyrie set. Also the gauntlets instantly refresh all runic attacks on any successful runic attack kill. It says low perk, but it's not really all that low, particularly with this much luck. One of the reasons I love this, particularly since I love runic attacks. And with this much cooldown, you can use a lot of them, and then that thing refreshes them, and you can use more. I love it. And this gives you a Blessing of Runic pretty much any time you use a runic attack. Also fantastic. In my speed run, I know I changed around. At least I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember now. I think I changed around some of the gems. But otherwise, for the most part, it's the same. Because stat spread, it's nothing changes. Skill-wise, everything that can be lit up is lit up. And the other one, not quite all of them are. This one, everything that can be lit up is lit up. And see, things don't instantaneously die. But, Blessing of Frost, yeah, Blessing of Frost is great.
Still no whetstone. And only one room left. I know I shouldn't hope, but do you think we'll find it there?
Fun trick. Restart from checkpoint if you want your runic cooldowns to be back instantaneously. Everything's already dead, I don't have to fight it, but everything's back up again. So things don't die instantaneously with this, but you're almost impossible to kill. It doesn't look as good as the normal Valkyrie armor, which is gold. This just looks like brass. A lot of people use Evaldi's. I don't really like the Evaldi ones. They're fine for working in Niflheim, but otherwise, meh. Now I'm going to show you what Blessing of Frost looks like with the Zeus on ogres.
So, you back to piss on my corpse, you ungrateful little... who are you two?
We're looking for a whetstone. Have you seen it?
Aye, there was one in this.
And what's crazier is you can boost how much damage it does by using Hell's Touch first. I'm just waiting for the other one to drop. There it is. Yeah. Anyway. It's crazy. But that's it. That's my build. I don't know what else to say. Go kill things. This takes a lot to make. This takes 2 full playthroughs. Because you have to kill all the Valkyries to get the Zeus armor. Then you have to upgrade everything. So 2 full playthroughs at least to get all of the gear I have. That's on cooldown. Just to get everything. To get all the armor, to get all the gems, to get the talisman, the handles, all of this. The Versatile Warrior's handle is a secret handle, by the way, as well. There's an entire trick to getting it. It's on the Muspelheim Tower. You got to kill the Traveler that's up there, and then you got to do this, like, visual looking puzzle, where you have to look at the center temple and then around a couple of times. There's videos online on how to get it. Getting it in the normal game is, it's okay. In New Game Plus, it's easily the best one. It has the highest stats of everything, and it's 22 on every stat. It's great. But it is secret, so it's hard to find. But that's it. And like I said, the only real difference with the other one is I changed it out to the Valkyrie set. That's the one I like. See, this Valkyrie set looks so much better, the gold. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a good one. Good luck.